Jesus can't be black or white and real. If you want to talk about Jesus the way that I, a non-Christian, would, as though he is a fictional character inside of a book, then you can make him whatever color you want. The idea that a bunch of Middle Eastern people just decided to follow some guy who was either black or white, and that the fact that he was black or white was just not ever mentioned in that book. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. It does not make sense to me.
Hello guys, welcome once again to the channel. I hope wherever you're watching, you're having a great time. Now, we have always known this discussion about whether Christ was black or white. It has always been going on for some time. And right now, whites are coming out to really express themselves over this topic. We know that historically, Jesus Christ was presented as being a white person. But this has been found out not to be the truth, because historical records, in fact, even looking at where he was born, there is no possibility that Christ would be a white person if he was born in the location within which the Bible states that he came from. And therefore, this reality is starting to dawn on white people, and they are realizing that all this time they have always been told lies about who Christ was. If you look at the pictures that have always been published everywhere, the images that have always been used everywhere, Christ has always been represented as a white person. And this representation was not by accident. Everything that happened was by default, because they wanted divinity to be close to a white person. And that is why you realize that when talking about what is good, white people are always considered to have that. But when talking about bad things, then that can only be allocated to black people. We have the devil who is being represented as a black or a dark person. And that really tells you how the Bible in itself was also used as a tool to perpetuate racism. So in today's video, we're going to listen to some whites talking about this topic and how they are expressing themselves. I wanted to listen to some of them in the level of reasoning that they have over this topic. Then we shall come back and share our thoughts in the end. Let's watch.
Like Santa Claus or the Little Mermaid, it don't matter. However, Christians have decided that the Bible is real, and therefore everything inside of it is also real. So much so that they are going to form their entire lives and everything they do around what the inside of this book says. And that not only should they do that and live their lives like that, but people like me that don't believe in it should also lead my life according to this book that they believe in, but I do not. If I didn't live in America, this probably wouldn't bother me, but unfortunately, our country is run by a very small minority of religious zealots that insist that even though we have separation of church and state, a lot of our laws are based on Christianity. So the only reason why this is even something that I care about at all is because it affects me in that manner. That being said, autism. So I really don't like it when people say things that can't possibly be true. So if you want to talk about Jesus the way that I think you want to talk about Jesus, which is that he's a real person that actually walked the earth and that the Bible is real and so was he, then to suggest that that book was written at that particular time in history about that place on earth. Now, I'll hold your hand. And that person, the main character who got all the other people that live there to listen to what he said and follow him, was anything other than a dark-haired, dark-skinned, Middle Eastern, likely Palestinian, is a little wild. The video I made is like the exact collation of that. People don't listen to people that don't look like them. I'm not making those videos for the black community. I'm making those videos for people that look like me, because people that look like me don't have a tendency to listen to people that look like you when they talk about things like that. I don't like that. I wish it wasn't true, but it is. It's the same reason that women ask men to talk to other men about their problematic behavior, because men don't listen to women.
Yes, my people. White people, Why are you all getting so upset when you hear that Jesus is black? And for 2,000 years, black people have been accepting, most of them have been accepting your lies that Jesus is white. And they accepted this white Jesus for so many years. But now, it's not a black man that put it out, that showed the paintings, that Jesus is black and the Israelites and whosoever else is black. It's a white man putting his what? A black or a white man. It's not a white man showed us finally that Jesus is white. So why are you all getting so upset and texting and carrying on as if it's black people racist? Is you racist? I curse my own when they are wrong. Martin Luther King tell you that don't condone with the wrongs of your own race. If you watch my videos, look in my profile, I curse my own black people when they are wrong. Because a lot of them are wrong. A lot of them are dready. And some are. Because I'm living it, I've been through it. Yeah. A lot of them betrayed us and keep on betraying us. That's why Africa is taking so long to rise. I have all of those videos in my profile. Because I'm living it here. I see the system. As Nelson Mandela told us, you have black domination as you have white domination. I live it here with my black people, doing a whole host of crap and keep selling us out. They are also in the system doing foolishness. Yeah. Is a white man show that Jesus is black, Because some of these white people realize that their own ancestors have been fooling them and lying to them for years. And they know that judgment is upon the land. Judgment is going to be upon them for all of the lies that they have told. They have slaved us, put us through so much hell. Lots of white people know that judgment is upon them. So they want to make their way clear. Because I said it before, white people are going to help us. Guys, not all white people are bad. A lot of you texting and carrying on. Listen, man. Unapologetically. You want me to say it again? Unapologetically, I say Jesus is black. And I'm not going to take it back. I've been saying it for many years. So I don't give a damn what you want to say. Yeah. You keep on texting and talking about a crap as if I am afraid to say what I mean. Or believe. Or know is true. Jesus is black. And we as chosen know that all along. And we're not gonna apologize for what we know is true. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not racist. I love all people. I talk it all the time in my profile. The videos are there. I love all people once they are with me. Once you're working with me, I'm working with you. You really came from the line of Cain. Yeah. That's why you show that most of all, you really came from the line of Cain. Will always have jealousy and envy. If you came from black people, you, white people, you came from us. And if you came from us, all race came from us, then we have to be the founded creator. The King of Kings is black. Mother Nature is black, is a black woman. She's the source. She gave birth to all race. You're telling me about he is Jewish and he was this and he was that and he was that. The Garden of Eden is in Africa. If you read Genesis, it tell you the river down to the river Nile. Ethiopia. It is right there in Genesis, Ethiopia. Right in when they're talking about the creation of the world and Garden of Eden. Go and read your Bible. That's where mankind was originated from. That's where mankind came from. And that is black people's land. You all came from us. So God has to be black and the goddess has to be black. You're talking about color don't matter. Color matters because why you put everybody. Why you taught us that everyone is white. Jesus is white. Mary Magdalene is white. His mother is white. Joseph, white. All of the Israelites, white. Abraham, why you show them in shows that all of them is white if color doesn't matter? If it doesn't matter to you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I'm not going to apologize for what I say. I say what I say and I'm going to say it again and again and I will say it again and again. Jesus is black and that is it. The truth is out. We're tired of the lies and the foolishness. White people are tired of it too. Lots of them. They know that judgment is upon their heads because of their ancestors. And some of them are trying to make it right. Yeah. The King of Kings is black. Take care of yourself and the Queen will always see you again, my lovely people. Love you.
How do I say this? The entire Bible is about black people. Not only was Jesus black, but every character in the Bible seems to be black too. Yeah, Zephaniah and Jeremiah and Jebediah, those all aren't white people names, okay? And Jesus wasn't some tan, partially melanated Middle Eastern person either. I'm talking straight up black dude, okay? Even in the book of Revelation, when you get the vision of Daniel, he's describing someone with feet like burnt brass and white woolly hair, and we've got the deep running water voice with the red eyes, and you guys, he's black. The Jewish people are black people, like Kanye was right. And those people yelling at the park dressed in purple about black people being the real Hebrew Israelites, they're right, okay? Like, anytime you see the word Hebrew or Israelite or Jew in the Bible, in your mind you got to replace that with black person. So the whole Bible is going to make a lot more sense to you once you start reading it like that. But you need to let this get settled in your heart now before you get up there. So I mean, they were literally whipping him on his way to get crucified, you guys. Crucifixion was a punishment like for slaves back then, and gladiators, and all the gladiators were black too. Did you know that? Like, you guys, he was sold for 30 pieces of silver. That was the maximum amount of money that a slave could be sold for. Oh, just coincidence? Above his cross, it says INRI. They were like mocking him. They were saying it says this is the king of the Jews. They're saying, like, here's the king of the black people. Look what we did to him. Why does the KKK burn crosses, you guys? The racist KKK. It's just black people rejoice. You are God's chosen people. Like, I mean, those are some big shoes to fill, but be honored, like, feel good about that. Like, how cool. Anyway, see.
Okay, so here's something I don't really understand. It's almost pretty much a consensus worldwide that Jesus was probably black, or at least not white. And So it totally makes sense why white people would be persecuting POCs for their entirety of humanity, is because depending on what aspect of Christianity you agree to, if Jesus was black and you get to choose what you are when you come down here, like you actually get to choose your family or whatever, those people who resemble God more, POCs, would be closer to his image. Therefore, white people persecute against them because we're jealous. We're jealous that we weren't strong enough to be black.
The Bible, and I got to bring Billy Graham as a witness here because, you know, Billy is a great, great evangelist. And years ago in the 60s, when he was teaching in Africa, he told the people there that Jesus was a black man. Now, of course, that may shock your ears, but in the private chambers of the Pope, wait, he has a picture of a black Madonna and a black baby Jesus. Since he's Polish, you know, in Częstochowa, I think is the name of it, they have this black Madonna. All over the world, there's this black Madonna. But in America, we've never seen it. Why is that? Now, the Bible tells you that Mary was an Egyptian woman. Of course, you know Egypt is in Africa. And not that I'm teaching you anything that you don't know. And the Bible teaches that Jesus had hair like lamb's wool. Something like some of the black students that are here, or the black people that are here. And his feet were like burnished brass. Now, it really don't make any difference to me if he were blonde or blue-eyed. I'm just telling you the truth. Because when you mature, you see beyond color. You know? But how mature are you that you knew he was black and then painted him white?
True Christ, who was not just for one culture, he's for the whole world.
Matthew chapter 15, verse 24. But he answered and said unto them, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. The whole world is not the house of Israel. The house of Israel is specifically one culture, his culture. Israel, the Israelites, the descendants of Jacob, and his 12 children who are or his 12 sons who are the 12 tribes of Israel. Y'all got to understand, white folk, what the problem be is that when you say shit like, oh, Jesus wasn't just for one people, he was for all people, the whole world. That's cool. But don't take away from what he specifically said he came to do. And that was to come unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. It gives us the same, feeling as when we say Black Lives Matter and you rebuttal saying some shit like, no, all lives matter. Motherfucker, if all lives matter to you, then what would be the problem with us specifically pointing out the ones that are in a little bit of shit right now? You see what I'm saying? When you say, no, all lives matter, It's like you saying black lives don't matter, but everybody else's lives does. If Jesus sat here and told you, it's a quote in the Bible of Jesus saying in the book of Matthew, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And you turn around and say, no, he sent for the whole world. This man told you who he came for. And you like, nah, fuck that. You for everybody. I ain't saying Jesus don't love everybody. I believe Jesus loves everybody who keeps the commandments. You feel me? But if this man specifically told you, my specific mission is to a certain group of people here who are going through some shit right now, more so than others, what the fuck is the problem? Are you just gonna say fuck what this man said and put your own narrative to it? Just saying. That man, Matthew chapter 15, verse 24. But he answered and said unto them, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And now that the whole world, or the rest of the world, all of a sudden knows Jesus was a black man, which a lot of folks still ain't accepting this shit. And you hear black people say, oh, we've been this, we've always known this. Yeah, it's fucking common sense that you just choose to ignore. Look at the region. Look at the way the Bible describes this man. The fuck are we talking about? So, I don't know. Y'all still got some getting it together to do, good white folks, because it like, you make it harder than what it has to be. And I get the mentality. I don't even be mad at all white people, because you got to understand, and this is for my black folks right now. I want to say this to y'all as well as to white folks. You can't really be mad at all white folks for their ignorance when it comes to this, because it's simply them not knowing. If you're born and raised having some...
Look how familiar that face is, and I'm finna tell you who the fuck that really is, because it's not Jesus. His name is Cesar Borgias, or something like that. And he was painted by Leonardo da Vinci. So let's get into the real story on how the fake Jesus came to be here in the Western United States, where all the fakeness is and the lies, etc., etc. If I die because this is a government, but I think I'll be alright. So boom, let's read this. Between 1502 and 1503, Cesar Borgia hired Leonardo da Vinci to be an architect and engineer, in which him and Leonardo da Vinci also became intimate lovers in a homosexual relationship. They were lovers. Expressing his love for Caesar, Leonardo painted many pictures of him. Caesar's father, Rodrigo Borgia, who later became Pope Alexander VI under the authority of the Catholic Church elite, had his son's picture put up as Jesus Christ in the Western world and ordered any pictures of a black Jesus destroyed. Caesar had sex with his own sister, Lucretia, and he killed his brother Giovanni in 1497. And this is the man who the Catholic Church gave their consent to allowing his picture to be put up and portrayed as Jesus Christ. The white Jesus of today was modeled by Cesar Borgias. Cesar Borgias, Jesus of today. Everybody knows Jesus was black, but, you know, Yahshua, Yahweh was black. I don't like Jesus. That's a whole white person thing. But I'm not making this racist. I'm just saying everything how it is factually or politically correct, if you dig my flow. What are you doing? Which brought me to this. So who's the white man posing as Jesus Christ? His name is Cesar Borgia, the second son of Pope Alexander VI of Rome, which I just read. He modeled for the image of the new Jesus Christ originally painted by Leonardo da Vinci. So it's kind of like they started the whole false reality of America in a way. You know, it's like all the beliefs and everything was painted on a fake Jesus. Took away all the black, all the real story of who Jesus is and all of that, and switched everything up. And, you know, enslaved a whole bunch of blacks, my people, other peoples. You know what I'm saying? I'm not putting names out there because, you know what I'm saying, not to offend nobody, but white people hate when other people speak about Jesus and how he's not white. But I just gotta put this out there because this is not him. In the Bible, Jesus has fiery eyes, woolly hair. His skin is black. Come on now, like come on now. This ain't no Jesus Christ. He don't got no blue eyes. He don't got long hair like this. He don't got a beard like that. He's not like this. He's not at all like this. This looks like a motherfucker named Joseph. But really, his name is Cesar Borgia. Cesar Borgia. I wonder if I'm saying it right. But yeah, you're welcome for clearing that up. Yeah.
Welcome back to the channel. Now, I like the discussion. You know, sometimes when we have certain things going on for us, we might all get closed in an echo chamber where we don't entertain external issues or opinions that come from other people who do not look like us. But right now, when this reality is dawning on whites, they are realizing that all this time they have been living a lie. All this time they have always been told that they belong to a person who does not even look like them. There is a reason why this whitewashing of Christ and his history happened. It didn't happen just because this was an accident, but it happened because white elites wanted to project themselves as the holier than thou people, as the ones who are righteous, as the ones who are closer to divinity. And therefore, they wanted to make blacks look at themselves and not even equate themselves closer to godliness. And that is why you find that whites have had this politics going on over the years. And as even Minister Luis Farrakhan stated in the video, he says that even the Pope knows this secret, that Christ was a black person. And in his inner chambers, he has a picture of black Madonna and black Jesus. And this really tells you that our history is always not told in the best way that it can happen. So why are some whites not ready to worship this black Jesus? Some white individuals express discomfort with worshiping a black Jesus due to deeply ingrained cultural and psychological associations with the white Jesus, shaped by centuries of dominant Western imagery. This discomfort often stems from unfamiliarity, as the white Jesus image has been normalized in the religious and social context. It can feel like a challenge of their worldview when confronted with a depiction that contradicts their norm. Historically, the depiction of Jesus as a white emerged during the European Middle Ages and Renaissance, when artists began portraying biblical figures in ways that reflected their own cultural and ethnic contexts. This was not rooted in historical accuracy, but in artistic convention, as Jesus, a Middle Eastern Jew, likely had darker skin. European churches and institutions embraced these images, embedding them in religious iconography across the West. The white Jesus image was further reinforced during colonialism and the spread of Christianity, often used to assert cultural superiority. Missionaries and colonizers presented Jesus in their own likeness, marginalizing non-European representations. This created a powerful assertion between whiteness, divinity, and authority, which became deeply embedded in Western Christian consciousness. For some, a black Jesus disrupts this historical narrative, challenging the subconscious link between whiteness and holiness. The resistance can reflect an attachment to traditional or an unconscious bias that equates divine imagery with familiar racial features. This discomfort often reveals more about cultural conditioning than about theological convictions. Acknowledging the historical false depiction of Jesus as a white can help unpack these reactions. The white Jesus image is a product of cultural bias, not biblical evidence. Recognizing this allows for a broader, more inclusive and understanding of Jesus' identity, aligning more closely with his historical and universal significance. Many might say that, do they even care if Christ was a black or a white person? And I must tell you that this depiction of Christ as a white person, as I've just read for you, was used during colonialism. And it brought in the nexus of authority, divinity, and holiness. And therefore, you find that white people felt like that the people who are closer to divinity, that the people who are closer to holiness, they're the people who therefore are allowed to wield authority over other races. And this racial superiority that came out of depicting Christ as being a white person has to be dismantled from the beginning. Because looking at blacks, they accepted to worship a white Jesus. They didn't question a lot. It is just that truth can't be hidden for long. At one point, it will find a way of coming out, and historical truths are coming out to vindicate blacks and say that this representation that you have always seen over the years, it has always been a lie. It is not what everybody needs to understand. Jesus Christ was a black person. And I also like how other whites in the video have gone to do their research in the Bible and read between the lines, they are realizing that this evidence of Christ being a black person has always existed in the Bible over the years. It is just that we choose to read where we want to read. And that is why I think most of us, even black people, have not been able to understand who we are in the deeper context of reality as it is. And that is also why we have lived over the years not understanding what our religion is, what our culture is, yet we have always embraced external ideas to come and direct and even conform our thoughts and choices. So this is something that we must embrace. Christ was black. Even if whites choose not to worship him just because he is a black person, that doesn't erase the fact that blacks have always had their history misrepresented by whites. Share your thoughts down in the comment section. And if you're watching us for the first time, please consider subscribing to the channel. We are on our way to 100,000 subscribers, and I believe your subscription will help us achieve this dream. Thank you, and let's meet on the next one.